Hi, this is Mrs. Robertson, and today in my Math 7 class during 6th period, we're making a video to go over our study guide number 1 for students to watch this evening before they take the test. So let's go over the problems and make sure everyone understands and they know how to do these problems. What is the constant rate of change of the table below? The constant rate of change is similar to the unit rate. Or how much is it per one? All of these are proportional relationships. And how many meters can it travel in 1 second? Well, that would be 4. So meters per second, the answer choice will be B, 4 meters per second. That would be your constant rate of change. It's the same thing as a unit rate. Now let's go to question number 2. In question number 2, what is the slope of the line? Remember, slope equals rise over run, which is the same thing as the difference in y over the differences in x, which would be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's find our slope. The easiest one to do on a graph like this is your rise. How far does it go up? Over the run. Now remember, to do this, you always start on the left and go to the right. The origin is always one of the very friendly points to do, and then you want to find another point that's easy, like this one here. So what is the slope between these two slopes, or these 2 points? My rise on this one is going to be halfway between 10 and 20. That's going to be a 15. That line represents 15. So I go up to 15, and my run, that goes to a 1. So it's 15 over 1, which means your slope is F, 15. Question number 3. Selena babysits on the weekends. The equation y equals 12x represents the amount of money she earns. What's the constant of proportionality? Now, I hadn't really talked to you about what the constant of proportionality is in an equation. It's really easy. Y equals 12x. It's the 12. The number in front of the x is your constant of proportionality. So if I had y equals 1/4 x, your constant of proportionality would be 1/4. Do you see where that's located? It's the number in front of the x. When it's set up like this, y equals something in front of x, which that's what it's going to look like on your test tomorrow. Whatever is in front of the x is your constant of proportionality. So in this problem, the answer is 12. In this one, it's 1/4. Okay? So that's what your constant of proportionality would look like in an equation. What is the solution of the proportion? Well, to do a proportion, 11 can't turn into a 13. They don't have a common factor. So you do the cross products and divide. So you will have 11 times r equals 13 times 22. Cross products. Then you have to solve for r. So you're going to divide both sides by 11. And you're going to end up with r equals, 11 goes into that once, twice, 13 times 2 is 26. And that is choice F. Any questions? Okay, in problem number 5, which size can of soup shown in the table has the lowest unit rate? Well, to do unit rate, you divide your cost by the size. So you would have 0.79 divided by 10, and that gives you 0.079. For the next one, you have $1.29 divided by 15. And when you do that, your quotient is 86 thousandths. The next one, you divide $2.16 by 18, and you will get 12 hundredths. And for the last one, you'll have, I'm going to do it over here, $3.19 divided by 32, and you end up with 98. And I rounded, I think, this one to the thousandths place. You get 98 thousandths. Now, those are your unit. That's what the unit is. That's how much it costs for 1 ounce. So 1 ounce for this one is 79 cents. 1 ounce is for this one is 86 hundredths. That's 79 thousandths, 86 thousandths, 12 hundredths, and 98 thousandths. So which one had the best deal? The one that is the cheapest is this one. This is the smallest of all of those numbers, so the answer is A. Are there any questions on how to do the problems on this worksheet so far? All of these types of questions will be on your test tomorrow. Let's go to the next page. We did problems like number 6, probably around Thanksgiving time, if I remember correctly. It says, how many feet per hour is this? Use a conversion factor. Okay, so we want to end up with, the answer wants to be feet per hour. Okay, so we're going to start off with 42 miles per hour. 42 miles, 1 hour. We want to end up with feet per hour. So we have to get rid of miles. So our conversion is going to be, we're going to have miles on bottom, feet on top. So we'll end up with feet per hour. Now, our conversion unit, it will be 5,280 feet equal 1 mile. Remember how we did those problems? Now, you can cancel out miles, and we end up with feet per hour. In this one, you're just going to multiply straight across. 5,280 times 42, and when you do that, you're going to get 221,760 feet per hour. Now, kids, if you can do that without setting it up this way, which you can do, you can still do it finding the unit rate and taking it times. You could just multiply. In this one, you just multiply 42 times 5,280, and you get that for your answer. I don't think they require you to show the actual conversion factor on the test tomorrow, just FYI. Okay? In problem number 7, the graph shows the amount of money Joe earns each hour he works. Which statements about the graph are true? Now be careful on your test tomorrow, because if I recall correctly, sometimes they ask for which ones are true and which ones are not true. So read carefully. Some of you have your Chromebooks open. Please close your Chromebook so I know you're paying attention. Okay, the graph shows a proportional relationship. Yes, it goes through the origin and it's a straight line. Requirements for a proportional relationship. The graph shows a non-proportional relationship. No, it does not. The unit rate is $15 per hour. Unit rate. So you go to the 1. Is it 15? Yes, the unit rate is $15 an hour. The line is straight? Yes, the line is straight. So you should have 3 things circled for that problem. Let's go on to the next problem. In problem number 8, it asks the question states, the table shows the cost for ordering a certain number of pieces of chicken. What is the value of X if the cost is proportional to the number of chicken pieces ordered? Well, in all of these, you multiplied by $1.50. 2 times $1.50 is $3. 3 times $1.50 is $4.50. 4 times $1.50 is 6. So if you take 6 times $1.50, you're going to get 9. So the answer to number 8 is $9. Any questions? All right. In the next problems, it says use the following problem or solve the following problems using a proportion. It's asked for a proportion, so you have to write it as a proportion. Yes, there's more than one way to do these, but it's asked specifically for a proportion, which I think is a pretty easy way to do them. Here we go. It takes 4 gallons of gas to travel 92 miles. How many miles can be driven using 6 gallons of gas? I'm going to put miles on top, gallons on bottom. You could put gallons on top, miles on bottom, and you'll still get the same answer. So 92 miles on 4 gallons of gas. How far can you go on 6 gallons of gas? Now, there's not quite enough room here for me to show the work, so I'm just going to show it over here. You're going to cross products. 4 times x equals 92 times 6. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 4 to solve for x. And when you multiply those two together and divide by 4, you will end up with 138 miles. Any questions? Number 10. Martin can travel 174 miles in 3 hours. At this rate, how far can he travel in 7 hours? I'm going to put miles on top and hours on bottom. There we go. So we're going to put miles on top, 174, 3 on bottom. How far can they travel in 7 hours? X is on top. So I'm going to do my cross products. 3 times x equals 174 times 7. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 3 and end up with the answer x equals 406 miles. Does everyone agree? All right. Let's go on to problem number 11. In number 11, we have words per minute. 296 words. 8 minutes. How many words can he type in 20 minutes? So 20 goes with minutes, x goes on top. So now we do our cross products. 8 times x equals 296 times 20. Divide both sides by 8. And when you do that, you're going to end up with the answer 740 words. Any questions on this page of the study guide? Let's go to the next page. Okay, write it down. I will be posting this as a video for you to watch tonight to study for the test. I'm going to keep on going so we can get this finished before the end of class, so you can always go back. Oh, we have another one of these unit rate problems. Which size bag of cat food shown in the table has the lowest unit rate? Well, here you divide your dollars by 24, and this number equals 2, let's see, I think that's far enough. 2,207 10,000ths. This one is just 2/10, and this one you'll get 24 hundredths. So which one has the lowest price out of those? 40 ounce can. Which one? It's the 40 ounce one has the lowest unit rate. Does everyone know how to find their unit rates to figure out the cheapest one? You just divide the money by the ounces. and then that will tell you how much it costs per ounce. So each one of these numbers, that's how much it is for 1 ounce of this out of this size. 1 ounce out of this size will be 2/10, and 1 ounce out of that size is 24/100. All right. Number 13, the graph shows the savings of Mia and Kyle. What is the slope of each line? What does the slope represent? Well, for Kyle's slope, I'm going to choose the origin and this line here. Okay, what is my rise? My rise goes up to the 20. What is the run? The run is 1. 20 over 1, so his slope is 20. All right, for this one, I think for hers, I can't tell what that number is, but I can tell that this is halfway between 20 and 40, so that's a 30. Okay, so that's why I'm choosing this point, because I can tell exactly what that point is. That's what I call a friendly point. So I'm going to use the origin and that one. So I'm going to go, my rise is 30, and my run goes all the way over to the 2. 30 over 2 will simplify to 15 over 1, which is 15. And I'll be honest, you can tell what's halfway between 10 and 20. It is 15. But I wanted to show you sometimes when you have hard to read graphs, find yourself a friendly point. And you just might have to divide a little bit more, but always look for a friendly point. What does the slope represent? It represents how much money each person saves per month. All right. The slope represents money saved per month. Now, let's go on to problem number 14. Oh, any questions? Okay, in problem number 14, a grocery store sells 6 bottles of water for $4 and 18 bottles of water for $10. Is the cost of the water proportional to the number sold? Okay, here you need to see, are their unit rates the same? So, to find out if their unit rate is the same, you could do $4 divided by 6. $4 divided by 6 will give you 0.6 repeating, okay? And then here, you're going to have $10 divided by, let's see, $10 divided by 18. $10 divided by 18 will give you point at a 0. How many times do you think it'll go in there? 5. Well, let's try 5. 18 times 5. That's what, 90? Yeah, 5. We can stop right there because are the unit rates going to be the same? No, it's not proportional because the unit rates are different, okay? That would be one way of doing it. Not proportional. Unit rates are different. Now there's another way to do this too, and it's the cross products. All right, here if you have dollars and bottles, if it's proportional, their cross products will be the same. So here I have $4 for 6 bottles, $10 for 18 bottles. When I do my cross products, 6 times 10 is 60. If they were proportional, they would both equal 60, but they're not. 4 times 18. So the cross products are different too. That would be another thing that you could say. Okay, so there are two different things to telling if it's a proportional. Now, let's solve these problems here. You're going to do cross products and divide. You will have 13 times 6/10 equals 0.5 times k. Divide both sides by 0.5. And you end up with 15.6 equals k. In the next problem, we are going to do 3 times v equals 6.5 times 11.7. Divide by 3. And in the answer for this one, you're going to end up with, let's see, I could divide that by 3, 6.5 times 11.7 divided by 3, 25.35. All right, so the answer to 16 is 25.35. And let's go on now with problem number 17. When driving, a hummingbird can reach a speed, or driving, when diving, hummingbirds don't drive things, 40 miles per hour. So I have 40 miles in 1 hour. What is the speed in miles per minute? So what do they want us to end up with? Miles in a minute. Okay, so we have to change hours to minutes. So we're going to put hours on top, minutes on bottom. Got it? Now, 1 hour is how many minutes? 60. So when you multiply through, you're going to end up with 40 over 60, but we have to get miles per minute. So to get the answer, you're going to have 40 divided by 60, and 40 divided by 60 gives you the answer 0.6 repeating. Miles per minute. Okay? Any questions? Let's go to the last page. And on the last page, it says, does the graph show a proportional relationship? Well, yes, it does. Why? It has two things. One, it goes through the origin. And what's the second thing it has to be? Yeah, a straight line. Okay, in this one here, it's not hard, but it's tricky because it has a fraction, and you don't like working with fractions, I know. Cyclists are 3/4 finished with their ride when they reach the 18-kilometer mark. How long was their ride? Well, we have ride, and we have kilometers. Okay? Set up a proportion. 3/4 of the ride is how many kilometers? 18. How long was their ride? That would be 1. Okay, so the full ride will be 1. The full ride is how many kilometers? Okay, that's what we're trying to find. Now it's very easy. You do your cross products. 18 times 1 is 18 equals 3/4 times x. Do you remember, how do we get rid of multiplying by 3/4? Divide by 3/4, which means we multiply by its reciprocal. Very nice. So we multiply both sides by 4/3, And boom, 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 boom. We have x all by itself. 3 will go into 3 once. 3 goes into 18 6 times. 4 times 6 gives you 24. So the full ride is 24 kilometers. Okay, we are ready for our last problem. Jamie and Ryan work at the grocery store. The wages earned for the weekend are shown in the table and graph. What is Jamie's pay per hour? Well, to figure that out, 24 divided by 3. So we want for 1 hour. 1 hour will be, just make your graph thing. Any of these, 24 divided by 3 is 8. 32 divided by 4 will give you 8. 40 divided by 5 is 8. So his unit rate is $8 per hour. All right. Now, Ryan's, it's a little harder for my eyes to see. And as I look, is there a friendly spot where it's an exact amount? And I did not see one on this one. So, halfway between a 5 and a 10 is 7.5. Okay? That is like right below it. So I'm going to say 1 hour he gets paid about $7. That is one. I would take a couple different things. We know it's less than 8 though, right? Does everyone see how it's less than 8? So, okay. We've got Jamie's, we've got Ryan's. Who gets paid more per hour? Jamie. Why? Because $8 is more than $7. I think that's sort of funny why they asked that. Explain why. $8 is greater than $7. Any questions?